Yeah, thank you. We have now had examples of how our associations, they support us in interpreting these long papers we get. And also as a component manufacturer, our customers, they expect from us that we condense out of this long paper what's important for them. That is the first step where we try to help as a refrigeration component manufacturer. Also because we are bigger than the most of our customers, so we can afford to be in these associations. We can afford to dig into these texts and try to make an interpretation and try to simplify what might be happening. So we have heard already the phase-down mechanism is the strongest tool of the existing F-gas regulation, and we have, as an industry, supported this phase-down schedule as a principle very much. There are additional measures, but in the end, it comes to that these additional measures are not as important as the phase-down schedule. Also, some application bans, sometimes you think about why did the people use F-gases in the shoes to give a little better support, things like that. Many places where they are emitted, and you think about, yes, some bans, we have to think about those. And there are other places where we might need those materials for a longer time. We have now got this revision proposal, the first one in April. I heard that yesterday or the day before another one came out. We're trying to simplify the figures a bit because there's a long list of numbers, for example, in the text, and we try to paint these step downs. But the usual step down looks like it's easy to step down stairs. Now, in this case, it's more that you have to crawl under the stairs. This is why I choose to have it black in the top, and you might hit your head. And the existing one is now going to 2030. Yes, we have to have a longer schedule on that. And yes, we expected that it will be somehow stricter. And that would be the steps, the dark green, of the new proposal. Now, Volker already mentioned, and we try to simplify that. Statistics from the last years tell us that up to half of the used refrigerant is going for maintenance and service. In the old schedule, the steps down were around 30%, so 20% were left for new installations because 50% went for servicing the old equipment. Now the steps are down by 50% each, so there's basically nothing left for new installations. Very simplified, but it gives you some guidance. And then we also try to translate that. This is where we are today, so the next step is ahead. We try to translate that to imagine what you have to do to an average GWP. There's different ways of calculating that, but if we imagine that we still need the same tonnage of refrigerant and the total emission allowance goes down, you can recalculate that to an average GWP to have an order of magnitude. And the old schedule ended down then at like 460 or 400 in 2030. The new schedule says rather 114. This gives you an impression that what we thought before, 150 is a good target, this is basically not enough. 150 is not enough for all installations. We need it, and we need to have other solutions with basically zero. And this is just a numbering. You can explain to customers what it means for your business. Very first questions when I presented that by a customer was, will the allowance for -50 and lower for R23 stay in? And I said, yes, but it means if you in 2030 make one system with R23, you might have to make 100 systems with zero. Then you can do. So we're trying to interpret that and to teach our customers and users in what this means for him. The series of refrigerants, if we really have an average of today out of this rough rule of thumb calculation of around 1,000, we thought we would have to go to 460. Now we have to go to below 150, and you can then just say, okay, I need those which are basically zero. I have some other needs for 1,500, but if I use 1,500, I have to make 10 systems which are 0 to compensate for that as a rule of thumb. So, yeah, and then we go out, we make trainings, and we try to condense, to distill, in other words, this content out of the regulation so that the customers get a better idea of how they do that. We do that together with the associations. We get our information there. We give the feedback from our customers to the associations so we can formulate that. What do you think is the industry picture to our politicians? And we try to be a voice of our customers there because most of our customers are 10 people companies, so they cannot afford to do that by themselves. And then we show them the opportunities. We do have compressors and condensers and everything for propane, for CO2, for all the refrigerants. And we train them in using them. We made on-site trainings in our on systems in safe handling, in efficient design, because the efficiency is still the top value we have to look for with carbon dioxide, ammonia. And so we try to show them how to do and try to convince them that they have to start to build up experience in that direction. And that is what we can do as a component manufacturer, to bring this information into a format that's easier to understand for the user of our components and train them in the options. And we have done so for, let's say, 20 years on CO2, and also since 5-6 years, more and more hydrocarbon trainings. But still, if you train 30 small groups of 10 people, and there's 100,000 refrigeration engineers out in the field, it just takes time. And it is in the field, in the maintenance, in the service, where we have the risk for something happening. And that is where these guys go, and we have to support them in this way. So that's what I brought with me for today. And if you want to have these details a bit more, you might have expected the new refrigerant report, which is online available now, so we can update that faster to the changing situations, to the new revisions. And so these cards you can get on our stand. And we wanted also to show that our industry is also looking beyond only GWPs. We are also looking into materials. So we didn't want to print and cut any trees, and even this one is made of grass instead of wood. So we have to show we think about what we are doing, and we do what we can. Thanks for listening.